Hey YouTube, this is Esplin227. Okay. I am finding it... I've been wanting to get into a debate with the rational Christians here on YouTube. But, again, it could be a quirk I have, but I despise intellectual dishonesty. And they keep saying things that is really starting to piss me off. They keep ignoring established facts. You cannot claim to be rational and reasonable if you ignore established fact. If someone debunks your argument and you check on the details and they are right, you can never use that argument again except as a thought experiment, but not without mentioning that the argument was debunked. You can make comparisons or analogies, but if you use that argument again in a different conversation, you are lying. You cannot claim to be fair. You cannot claim to be rational. I bring this up because of the three main things that has pissed me off. A YouTuber named Rational Roundtable has said two of these things. And what bothers me most is I really want to get into a debate with the rational Christians, the ones in our little social thing, you know, like you, James, and his friends, and Rational Roundtable, and Friday Night Roundtable, the Christians that go on there. But they're making it very difficult. You know, I'm not saying I have a right to debate with them, I'm just saying I really want to. But they keep saying things that I know if I get in an argument with them, I'm gonna lose my shit. Like the Adam and Eve thing. Rational Roundtable did a video about what the Adam and Eve story might mean. The Adam and Eve story is a combination of two separate creation myths from two separate religions. Can we prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that that is the case? You can never prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that anything is the case except in math. So that's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Can we prove beyond a reasonable doubt that that is the case? Yes. It has been shown to be the case. There is evidence that that is indeed the case. Many biblical scholars, in fact most biblical scholars that are themselves secular or not fundamental Christians, fundamentalist Christians, have agreed that that is indeed the state of affairs. Any video about what Adam and Eve might mean without mentioning that it is a combination of two older religions is by definition a lie. You are withholding information, and anything you extrapolate on that false premise is not true. You cannot claim to be rational if you do that. Rational, yeah, in a cold, calculating way, perhaps. Another thing, and I already made a video about this, I lost my shit. The argument about the burden of proof not being on the theist or not being important. You'd like that, wouldn't you? You'd like it if the burden of proof is irrelevant, so you can just say, you're not necessarily putting it on us, but you're saying, I believe what I believe. I have no obligation to show any evidence. And that's true, you don't. But you can't call yourself a rationalist, and you cannot call yourself reasonable. A lot of people are saying that atheism is a religion because we claim to be the only ones who who possess the truth, or the only ones who are being rational. While I don't think that makes it a religion, that simply doesn't. The definitions of religion are loose, but require specific things to be called a religion. Christians tend to define a religion in such loose terms that any club could be a religion. A group of people that share a certain belief. No, that would be any social gathering, anywhere, at any point in all time. That's just a collection of like-minded people. They've defined it so loosely that that any club or sorority or fraternity falls into that category. So that's retarded. I don't agree that atheism is a religion, but I do agree about what they claim we're claiming. Yes, I do think we're claiming to be the holders of rationality. The moment you make a statement about the physical world, you have stepped into our domain. Can you make those statements? Yes. Can you make those statements and claim to be a rationalist? No. No, you may not. We will call you out for it. You're not a rationalist. You're wrong. Why? Because, by definition, you are not reasonable. Reasonable, there's a difference between believing something beyond a shadow of a doubt and believing something beyond a reasonable doubt. Are your doubts reasonable? No, they are not. It's been shown in almost every conceivable way that almost everything in the Bible is not true. It has been debunked. It is ethically dubious. It is morally dubious and inconsistent. Need I go on? Okay. You've shown me that the rational Christians, or what they call rational Christians, can be civil, can be reasonable in every other fashion. I know that. I know you can be calm. I know you can be civil. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm getting annoyed at is blatant dishonesty. That is really annoying the crap out of me. That would be like me claiming to be, if I wanted to, I don't know, if somehow society was putting a lot of value on faith for a specific job, and I'm like, well, in my own way, I'm a faithful man. No, I'm not. That would be a lie. Likewise, you cannot claim to be rational if your beliefs are not based on rationality in this specific instance. Can you claim to be rational in other regards? Yes, you may. You may not claim to be rational in this regard. That would be a lie. I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this, but this is really annoying me. If we talked about the story of Noah, if you tried to explain what Noah meant without mentioning the Epic of Gilgamesh, you are lying, because it has been shown to come from the story of the Epic of Gilgamesh. I'm sorry, you're just wrong. I should not have to explain this, nor should I have to explain why honesty is important. Again, I don't want to seem like an ass, but you're making this really hard. I don't want to just paint with a broad brush and say that all Christians are irrational. But can I claim that when it comes to religion, they're being irrational? Yes, I can absolutely claim that, because by definition, unless they're ignorant to the facts, which is not necessarily their fault, they are being irrational. It is not a rational belief, because of what the word faith means. Oh, that's the other thing. That's the other thing that pissed me off. Was it you or some other rational Christian said something to the degree that you don't agree with the separation of confidence faith and religion faith? So that if I have confidence that my mother is not going to stab the living crap out of me next time I visit her home, but I'm not completely sure. I mean, she can snap and lose her mind. It's not her fault. Or she could have always hated me. I don't think that's the case, but who knows? If you think that's the same as me looking at dubious evidence that my mom is God, and that I believe she's a prophet, and I have religious faith that that's the case, again, you are lying. No, it is not the same as confidence. No, you Christians did not see evidence that convinced you to where you're confident that he exists. No, you have religious faith, because we can tear apart your evidence. Until you have evidence that cannot be debunked for your specific faith, you cannot claim that it is rational. No. Again, I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this, but I'm sorry. I want to see Christians as equally honest. You can be equally rational and reasonable, but you're not equally honest. You are by definition dishonest. Faith is intellectual dishonesty, religious faith. I'm going to believe something regardless or in spite of the evidence. If you had evidence, you would not need faith. Again, Rational Roundtable, you're the only name I can remember out of the group, because I find in order for me to be civil to a lot of the quote-unquote rational Christians on YouTube, I have to actually not watch many of their videos, because every like 1 in 3 video really pisses me off, because you're lying. I know that if you are rational, the things you're saying, you must know are not consistent with reality. You must know that confidence faith is not the same as religious faith. If not, you're 7. The word does not mean the same thing. In English, we have words that mean multiple things. You might say, well, in the same way you have evidence that your mother's not going to kill you, we have evidence that God, no, you do not. Not evidence that cannot be objectively debunked. It has over and over and over again in every conceivable fashion, and yet you persist to believe. Now, if we're talking about a deistic belief in a general intelligence, I don't necessarily think that's entirely rational, but I can see where you're coming from, because it's very hard to debunk amorphous concepts of God. But if you're talking about a specific deity with a specific, incredibly anthropomorphized, clearly mythological story, and you're claiming to be rational in your belief of it, that's okay that's okay 2,000 years ago. That's okay 1,000 years ago. Again, we had no information to debunk these things. I'm not saying all people. I remember I threw ignorance in there. Ignorance is a mitigating factor. If you simply don't know that these things have been debunked, it's not your fault. But if you're in the debate and we show you how these things are being debunked, then being ignorant of it is being willfully ignorant. And you cannot claim to be rational or reasonable. I'm sorry, you cannot. Or, I mean, you physically can claim that, but I will always say that you are not. Until you hold yourself to a higher standard of honesty. I'm not going to debate with you with any of these so-called rational Christians on Skype, because I want to be civil. You've seen how I try to be civil. I want to be calm, and I cannot be. Not when someone is lying to my face. This is unreasonably aggressive, and I'm sorry, but intellectual dishonesty, like, takes my mind and just twists the crap out of it. It's like someone scraping plates, like 1,000 demons just scraping plates and chalkboards, taking plates and scraping them against chalkboards. You'll understand how much that pisses me off. I can't do it. I can't go on the Tuesday night. I actually was moving stuff around so I could get on it. I can't do it because I'm gonna lose my crap and I'm just gonna start screaming. I try to be rational, but I can't be rational with someone who's not admitting that their faith is by definition irrational. That's what faith is. I'm gonna stop because I'm just gonna get more and more offensive. Until my next video, try to make the world a better place, and